It's hard for me to envision a world where both Fallout 76 and Fallout 5 can both exist at the same time. The absolute biggest threat to Fallout 76 would be a new shiny Fallout title. And I don't know if modern day Bethesda would want to jeopardize their product that they have been in damage control level 10 with since its launch. To be fair, we probably won't even hear anything about the next proper Fallout game for years. Like 5 to 10 years. So either Fallout 76 will have improved to a level where it has a dedicated core fan base, or the game will have disintegrated by then. But while we're on the topic of Fallout 76, there is one thing I can praise it on. Its world. When the game actually works, it presents you with some of the most enchanting world design I've seen from Bethesda since Morrowind. It has so much wonder and curiosity and bizarreness that felt to me more Fallout than Fallout 4. If we're gonna discuss what the next Fallout game needs, then we have to start at the most important factor. The world. And who knows, maybe by the time this game comes out, it will actually have 16 times the detail, or 16 times the map size, or 16 times the playtesters. But all joking aside, look at Fallout 3. Washington, D.C., the capital wasteland, the heart of the United States government. This location was so iconic because of what it represents and its history. Then we got New Vegas, another iconic American landmark. Then we got Boston. Boston was just so lackluster for me. It made sense from a story point, but it just paled in comparison to the previous game locations. For the next title, we need something more iconic than Boston. If I think iconic American areas, I think LA, Texas, San Francisco, Detroit, New York. And yes, I understand canonically some of these areas have been completely destroyed from the nuclear bombardment, but Bethesda have been known to tinker with the lore before. Let's say we pick Texas or Detroit. Both these areas rest on borders. Detroit could have you venture into Canada, which I'm not sure would still be Canada, as Canada was annexed by the States during the war with China, but that could lead to some really cool story opportunities. Maybe a small group of Canadian ghouls are running a hopeless campaign to try and take Canada back from the States. Or you could have the same idea with Texas and the Mexican border, but have a total role reversal. Maybe Mexico has become a bountiful. Maybe Mexico has become a bountiful oasis after the nukes dropped, and they have built a wall to keep Americans out. Nailed it. Both of these suggestions are just wacky enough to totally fit in with the Fallout brand of satirical comedy. Now, it's hard to picture Fallout reverting back to more of an RPG template after the release of Fallout 4 and 76. But even having that stop time again would help on that front. I'm also torn on a voiced protagonist. Fallout has never been about telling an incredible story. There's a trade-off. If you make your story too compelling, then the player might become too invested, therefore missing out on side content in a pursuit to see it to its end. Make the story too bland, and the player may feel they have no motivation to complete it. Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 found a happy middle ground. Find your dad, find the man who shot you, find your son. Though fairly basic, these pursuits tied in completing side quests into the main plot. This guy will give me information if I help him. And the journey became more fulfilling than the destination. They gave us a goal and kept putting interesting stuff in our way of getting there. Bethesda follow a formula. In the Elder Scrolls, you're a prisoner. In Fallout, you're a vault dweller. And I'd love to see the vault you emerge from play a bigger part. Honestly, I just love more vault exploration in general. But it would be cool to have the vault you emerge from be more meaningful. What if you were in Vault 0 or something, and this is the vault designed to create and observe the experiments carried out in all the other vaults? What if you could create experiments and see how they develop? Or if you worked for Vault Tech? Or that you have knowledge of a secret unused vault and decide to gather survivors and start anew? Or if this vault had some experimental time machine and you could go back in time, Terminator style, and experience the events that led up to the nuclear holocaust. maybe it never would have happened without your involvement. Now, I hope they keep multiplayer away from this game. It's clear that the creation engine simply can't handle it. Fallout is supposed to be a lonely, desolate experience. It seems inevitable that building will return. Some people really enjoyed it, and to be fair, I definitely had my fun with it. And the introduction of the camp was a good idea, being able to take your homestead with you. I can imagine an improved system being carried over into the next Fallout title. I just hope it serves as more of an optional feature. The problem building created is it became part of the core game loop. Before, looting served the sole purpose of advancing the player by making you stronger with better stuff. But Fallout 4 made this lateral move that added all this junk to the loot pool, which diluted the looting experience from a character building standpoint. Honestly, it's really hard to say what Fallout 5 needs, because Fallout 3 was a product of a time where Bethesda were at their peak. And it's almost impossible to emulate that. It's like an artist's debut album. Most people would argue, whoever their favorite artist is, that their first album was their best. There was a rawness to it, an honesty and a passion that changed with subsequent albums. Sometimes a fresh approach yields such an organic product. I'm sure with everything that's been going on at Bethesda internally with Fallout 76, some within the company must be absolutely tired of it. And I don't blame them. Look at Sonic Team. They have been working on Sonic and only Sonic games for the better part of 23 years. They must be sick of that little bastard by now, and it shows in their games. Then comes Pagoda West and Headcanon, and bam, we get Sonic Mania. A game that said, fuck all this new shit, let's go back to what made Sonic great and really focus on that. Sometimes it just takes some new blood and a new focus to make something great again. Because what Fallout is great. You can try and take something in a new direction, and sometimes that works, but it alienates the ones that fell in love with the product in the first place. And yes, Bethesda have done this before. With Fallout 3. They took an over-the-top 2D RPG and reinvented it into what it is today. And that was because of a focused, passionate team under the guidance of a focused leader. I feel Todd Howard has his hands in so many projects that they all suffer because he's spread too thin. In 2011, when you mentioned Bethesda, they were revered as one of the best developers out there in terms of honesty and quality. And it still shocks me that when we look at them today, they can be categorized in the same fields as Ubisoft, Activision, and EA. We saw great success when Bethesda handed the license to a different company, and I feel that's the easy route for them to take. But I believe in my heart that they have the talent and will to make another truly great Fallout title in-house. Would the next installment benefit from a new engine? Absolutely, but that's wishful thinking. For the next Fallout game to work, we need a passionate team with undivided attention from Todd Howard. An iconic area to play in, locations that beg to be explored and have meaningful payoffs for doing so. We need expanded choices, no more of this good, neutral, sarcastic, bad choice. We need a different focus on how guns factor into the game world. We need a better core game loop with more emphasis on exploration and choices as opposed to clear area, loot, repeat. We need more player choice. We need more focus on role-playing. We need more focus on game performance. We need more unique random encounters, and we need more vault exploration. We need a return to form of what made Fallout 3 so special. No pressure.